Welcome back to Gray and Grow. Today's episode is the empowerment of action plans. Welcome, and we love having you.
Find the beauty in commotion, swimming by the gale, miles away.
Welcome back to Gray and Grow with Sarah and Megan. I decided to switch it up today. With today's wonderful podcast is about the empowerment and an action plan. So today we're going to talk all about action plans, all about taking responsibility for what's going on in your life and making the changes that you absolutely know that need to be made. Maybe you just don't know how to do it. So we're going to help you with that. Right, Sarah?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
this is my favorite. I'm excited.
You're excited. I know you like giving me action. You like having me have action plans. It's great. You like saying, so what's your action plan?
You sound excited about that.
Because a lot of times I'm going, I don't know what my action plan is for today. I probably need to think about that. So yeah, I love it. And at the same time, I'm going,
that's why this episode is here.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so what is it?
But you know what's interesting? That's the energy that I show up in when we do a coaching session. I show up in the...
I know.
Isn't that interesting? I just realized that when you're saying that, because after we got done recording my coaching session, you're like, are you okay? You seem to have not enjoyed that. I'm like, I absolutely did not enjoy that. I don't want to go back and think about that traumatic time and change my beliefs about it, because then I am traumatized. All right.
Well, that even comes up. I mean, that comes up with me with the action plans. It's like, I know I need to have them. I am just not really, because the way with massage and the coaching, my schedule can change. It's so hard for me to have a set plan, like going to do this at this time, this at this time, because I never know how my day is going to go. So when you say we need to have an action plan, I'm going, ugh. So I have to have an action plan because I don't know what my day is going to bring. Don't know what my day is going to bring at all. But they are good to have. And I do know the value of them. It's just getting my mind around, okay, I need to have a set schedule here and here, because with massage and even with coaching, things can change. People can cancel. Other people can call in and say, hey, can I get this? Can I, so my day is always up and down. Like yesterday was a hurricane here in Florida. I had my all my appointments canceled because they were older people. They didn't feel like driving in the hurricane. One of them actually said to me, I don't want you driving because you live further away than I do, and I don't want you driving, so I'm canceling my appointment. But so I went from having 3 or 4 massages yesterday to having nothing in a span of 15-20 minutes. So then I'm going, well, what do I do for the day? What do I do for the day? So that's when I got myself into trouble with my Facebook. Because I had an action plan. I wanted to do something, and that was it, and I did it wrong. Oh, what is an action plan, Sarah?
Oh my goodness, what is an action plan? An action plan is a clear set of steps that you are going to take to achieve a goal. And I really like to do what I call kind of reverse goal setting. And so what is your goal? Once you're clear on your goal, then you figure out what steps you need to take to get to that goal.
It's also part of this is by creating an action plan, we're taking full responsibility for our actions. So your individual actions. So when I talk to you as your coach and not as your friend or a podcast member, when I talk to you as your coach and I talk to you about, your actions, what you can do to help you with some of the trauma, it's about taking responsibility of your actions from here out and how you're going to deal with the trauma. You have a better, more responsibility of your outcome when the trauma comes up for you. So instead of just letting it take you over, you can actually create the outcome you want from that trauma coming up for you. Make sense?
No.
No. So when I'm working with you as your coach and we come up with action plans, like the other day I gave you some things to do based on what you were telling me. I gave you like homework, and some of them were coming up with things that, you are really good at, right? Like things that you're really good at. So the next time something comes up for you that says to you, I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at anything, or any of those things that could go through your mind, you can actually have a written out thing of, this is what I am good at. And that's not true, because now you have something that visually will stop you from doing. That's an action plan without actually creating an action plan. Now you have that, you go and look at that next time those feelings come up for you. So you handle the situation differently and you get through it faster than you would have before having that written down. Does that make sense?
That
I
makes
saw that.
absolute sense. Light bulb. Well,
Light
and so
bulb
like
moment.
I'm just gonna like recap what I got from that. So like when I'm in my highest vibration, when I'm in my owning my power state of being, then I make this list of all the things I'm good at, all the things that Sarah is amazing at. I make that list, which is funny because I haven't made that list because I haven't gotten to that place of high vibration. So I'm like, I still am stuck in the pondering. But anyway, so I make that list, and then if I'm trying to get work done or wanting to get work done or I'm struggling to get work done, feeling some of the imposter syndrome, feeling some of the breakdowns, what I can do then is go back and look at that list that empowered Sarah made, and then I can remember what's real and get out of my breakdown by connecting back to what's real from empowered Sarah instead of allowing disempowered Sarah to run my flesh suit.
So, yes. And the
So that's a
reason we
recap.
hadn't gone further with that is because you haven't done that list. So, therefore, I can't go further with that until you know what you have that list, because then I can go into how you can create that action plan for when you're not in that empowered Sarah and you're not in that confident Sarah. You're in the Sarah that wants to have a breakdown, whether you want to or not. Your brain wants to, or your emotions want to. And so, the idea is that the action plan, there's more than one way of doing an action plan. When it comes to the coaching that I do with the NLP and all that, try to help you come up with the visual, like the list. And then once you have it, then we put you back there in that empowered Sarah when we're in
Mm-hmm.
when we're in a coaching thing, and we actually go through each one of those feelings and each one of those thoughts. We actually empower you more, and we have you visualize you as this empowered Sarah. So therefore, when you have that low, you can look at that list and remember that it really empowered Sarah. And so that's the action plan that I have for you once you finish the list.
And I think that's why we're making this episode today being the empowerment and an action plan is because this is what accountability looks like. I agree to this action plan. I have this action plan, and Megan is going to hold me accountable to this action plan that we created. And that leads us right into our second point, like why is it needed to have an action plan? Well, if you have goals and if you want to have trust and credibility with people, if you would like to improve your relationships and have enhanced performance, if you have personal development goals, then you've really got to be accountable to what you say you're going to do. And that is something that our business provides for our clients, because that is something that she and I provide for each other very naturally and in a friendship level way. And it's wonderful for us. And so we want to make sure that that's something that we're offering to our clients moving forward. And that's part of this podcast is you are going to listen to us go through a coaching session and then be held accountable to that coaching session. And sometimes it will be NLP work. And I was kind of surprised with what came out during my session. I haven't gone back and watched it yet because I'm in fear and shame and embarrassment. And that's okay, because I have every intention of moving forward and I have someone who's going to hold me accountable to moving forward.
Accountability is really, really important with self-development and also with business. And so what we provide here is that, and through our coaching, is we have both aspects of it. So we have the life aspect, the NLP aspect, the emotions, the breakdown aspect, and then we have the aspect that is more business related, the accountability, the action steps for business. So like Sarah's really good at figuring out, helping you figure out what your action steps need to be for your business so that you can move forward and create a better business going forward. Where I'm more of the you're stuck in that syndrome, that wonderful syndrome we all love, that gremlin on our shoulder, the imposter syndrome, and you have all these fears, and I help you deal with that so you can work with Sarah and actually make progress within your business. I help you in the mental, the mindset aspect, and then Sarah can help you with the moving forward with your business and really creating the success you want, but you're being held back by all these different barriers, which we are going to be talking about in the next few podcasts. We're going to actually be talking about different barriers that keep you from succeeding in life and business, right, Sarah?
Absolutely. I am really excited for our barriers series because I am personally getting so much out of it as we realized, like as we were talking about the barriers, because I right away put up this wall that's like, no, no, no. And then we started talking about them in detail. I'm like, yes, 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 apparently, yes. These are all things that I struggle with. And I also just kind of wanted to shout out, like, it's really cool to work with people who go between having a mindset barrier and having an action step barrier in a business, because when we watch them break through, it's just such a beautiful thing to see things go to the next level. I'm working with a client right now where we are getting things done off her action steps. So I have 84 action steps that I use to help someone launch or scale their business. I realized in this process that there is no way that I can help people be successful unless I add this mindset piece into what I do, because I know what to do and I oftentimes do not do it. And so this is why I stay present and I show is keeping time. I don't know how I'm ready. So the purpose of the 84 steps is to really cover all of the bases that you need to not only the software setup, but like an understanding of business. We talk about the phrases and the ins and the outs. And right now, like I said, I'm having a client work through those steps. And it's really exciting to work through some of the steps together on a call, but then to both leave with homework, because this client, they got my top tier package. And so I'm doing a lot of the work for them. But that's the cool thing about what I do, is that you can do all these steps and take all these actions completely by yourself. You don't need to outsource or hire someone to take these steps.
Sarah, that's a really good one. Of the things we wanted to talk about today was getting out of planning and into action. And the 84 steps you have, the plan's already there. All you got to do is fill in the blanks into specific business, right? And then you can go from there.
Yep. Any business model you can take and walk through, whether it's affiliate marketing or MLM, direct sales, coaching business, your massage business, like any business can go through these steps, whether it's brick or mortar or all online, and that will get you to the launch process. But what I realized in selling this package a couple of times is that knowing the steps isn't enough. My clients, they need to have that support of a mindset coach.
And that's kind of where we came together. We created our own package together. And that is a package that involves both of us, because I deal with the imposter syndrome, the fears, the barriers, all of the things that are going to keep you from taking those action steps, which you're actually having that with one of your clients, right? You're having like this whole thing with one of your
I
clients
am.
that is all in reality. If you break it down for her, she doesn't get it yet, but if you break it down, it's all about her own fears.
I
Not
cannot
going
wait
into
to have her as
detail.
a guest on this podcast, and I want her to work through this with you. And then I cannot wait for like 6 months from now for us to go back and watch it and be like, oh my gosh, look where I was stuck 6 months ago. Because what happens is we get stuck and we just stay there and we stay there and stay there and stay there. And then we break through, and suddenly this level that we've been at for years, we get to be way up. And it's so important that we have this like starting or jumping off point. So then you can look back and be like, oh my gosh, look at how much growth, look at how much my income has quadrupled once I took this step. So that for me is like I get all tingly and excited and ooh.
Definitely. And that's it. As you were talking, it reminded me of your client and some of the stuff that we've been talking about with her, that about like what she's going through. A lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is she's got this thing in her mind and she wants perfection. And that is part of we're going to go over next on the next podcast, but that is part of the fear of
Yep. I was gonna say
failure.
we need to wrap this up. We're already leading into the next.
I know. Okay. So, but that is part of it. So therefore it's like, okay, I'd love to get my hands on her. So,
Isn't it funny that I really feel like our podcast is going to go back and forth? Like, we're going to have an episode where it's all about your skills, and then we're going to have an episode where I'm like, all right, let's get down to it. And I'm finding like my favorite phrase right now is brass tacks. I have looked that phrase up. My husband has looked that phrase up. And so, like, that might be my next podcast that I lead, but we all know what your next one's going to be. But I don't want to jump off here before we choose to share brass tacks. So it is
definitely.
right now August 6th. This episode is going to air live today. We are going to go ahead and put out our offer for August, and we are going to limit this. So we have a cap of people we can accept to this offer because we are only two humans. Our offer in August is you can choose to work with Megan and I. You will get 4 calls in total. The calls will last between 60 and 90 minutes. They will be recorded calls, so you can have them, so you can watch them over and over. So it'll be 2 calls with Megan, 2 calls with Sarah. And then you will also get support in our group setting. So you can ask questions. We'll pop in there and answer questions for you. And we are going to cover any topic that you want to cover in these coaching sessions. I do want to put limits on that. Obviously, we're going to refer you to professionals if we get into an area where you feel like you need a professional. But this package right now, oh, it hurts my soul to say this, but we are doing it. We are diving in. And we are going to do $200 a month if you would like to dive in and take this offer. We can start today. We can start in a week when you're ready. We can plan it out and we can start your first month September 1st if your August is already planned out with vacation time. But we are only going to have this offer available for August, and we're only going to limit it to a couple of people. We will let you know when we cap it off. But I do want to say that if you really love this package and you think it's something that you definitely want to dive in and do, we will let you buy a 6-month package for $1,000. So you can work with both Megan and I for the next 6 months for $1,000. And I guarantee that that price is never going to come back again. But we're excited to be here. We're excited to start supporting moms in their businesses. And so this is the time. If you want to jump on, leave a comment, go find us on our social media, raise your hand. We will reach out to you.
Definitely. And we're trying right now, being the beginning of the school year for a lot of people. I know my daughter goes back next week, but for the beginning of the school year for a lot of people, this is a time to really buckle down. I know I'm buckling down. Talking about action accountability, I have decided that starting next Monday, I'm going to start going to the gym. I don't know the amount of times per week, but I am going to start going to the gym between 2 and 3 times a week, because I've gotten to a point where I am not happy with myself. And so therefore I need to go to the gym. So this is a time for people to really buckle down. The summer is a time for everyone to have fun, enjoy, and stuff, and just kind of like go, skate through. But August, September is really a time to buckle down and create that action plan for the second half, the last half of the year, the last fourth of the year, however, quarter of the year, to really buckle down and create plan to deal with the last quarter of the year. So this is us trying to say, okay, look, we know that this is the time for you guys to really start buckling down. So we want to make it available to deal with not only the fears and the barriers that are up there for you, but also have a plan and move forward with that plan. So this is a one-time deal that we're doing because we just really want to help people, because we are helping ourselves while we're helping you. And that's part of this podcast, is we're also helping yourself, is why I said I'm going to start working out, because then I can be held accountable to how many times I actually work out. So I said that because I know Miss Sarah over there will hold me accountable to that.
I said what I said.
Exactly.
I'm over here secretly writing down things.
Yeah, not
And
so
I
secret.
and the last thing I want to shout out there is going to say is that we will be offering spots to be interviewed on the podcast. Of course, this is just a baby podcast right now. We don't have a whole huge following, but that's the awesome thing about transformation and launching is that it's only a build up. And so one of the things that it will also be included with this offer of people that sign up with us is featuring you on the podcast if that's something you're interested in. Please make sure you know that if you'd like privacy, we will absolutely respect your privacy. You do not have to come on here and be silly with us, but we sure would love it if you would.
Oh, definitely. Because we're all about helping moms and entrepreneurs and everyone has their story. You and I both have very interesting stories at times, and some of them are hilarious and some of them are like, no, yesterday was not a good day for me. And you got to hear all of it. And so, like we all have stories and we all have stresses and we all have things we need to get through. And sometimes just venting it and really getting it out and coming up with a plan to deal with it is the way to go. And that's why, we're going to start having people on here because we want to help you vent it, get it out, and then say, okay, well, how can we get past this? How can we move forward from here? What's the solution?
Yep.
Let's get out of the problem. Let's find solutions.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I guess that's it for today. Our next podcast is going to start the barriers file, and we're going to start dealing with different barriers to in your mindset for that keep you from succeeding in your personal life and in your business life. And so we're going to get into that next. That's the first one is going to be Sarah. What's the first one going to be?
Fear of failure.
We all know that one. That's a big one. Okay, everyone, have a great day. This is Grit and Grow with Sarah and Megan, and we will see you on our next podcast. Have a wonderful day.